Good day, guys. So, for those of y'all who missed out our session last week, this is just a prior snippet of what went down last week that I covered with the group. Now, this was based on week 5 of our topic, and it's called the Axe Sharpening Session, week 5, of course. But what we did before we dive into the context of the topic was I went through with the group of how we are playing out each week, show them what topic we'll be going through. And it's also an opportunity for the group as a whole to grow in their skills and to grow in building a healthy culture in their environment. I've also planned out that, should the team members have any topics that they like to discuss, they can put in their topics in this sheet, which is actually on Google Sheet live, which I shared with the group so they can fill it in. But here's like an example of how we run the session. And as you can see, we've already covered quite a significant number of topics. And for this snippet, I'll be going through a little bit on failing forward. I won't go too deep into the context. Right, so I've talked to the group because we've talked about, as you can see behind here, we've talked about giving and receiving feedback and the law of growth. And part of the law of growth is how do we differentiate between goal versus growth, or when do we put a goal mindset versus a growth mindset? And here's the thing that somebody had asked me about this question. I had thought about it for a while, and I came up with this. As you can see, when challenges come, we shouldn't put on a goal mindset. And now the reason being said of that is because when we put on a goal mindset, when the challenges come and we struggle, we tend to sort of just look at how far we have to go, how far our goal is, and we'd be saying, I don't think I can achieve that. That's a bit too far. I might have set my target too high. But if you put on a growth mindset, you look towards how far you've come, and you start celebrating all the small victories along the way. For example, if I come out of something, I've achieved, okay, I did something today, I win. And I start reflecting back on those little small things that I've done, and that sort of puts you on the right track with the mindset. For example, I see my goal, it's a bit far, but I know I can reach it, because so long I celebrate these little victories in life, I'll be able to one day reach my goal. Versus when you put a goal mindset, you don't look at these small little things to celebrate, and hence you start saying how far you have to go versus how far you've already come, and that's already a small victory. So it was something like that that I've mentioned to the group about goal versus growth. Now, I had a discussion with the group. This was the discussion question: how do you react to failure? Do you fight or flight? And there were many very interesting answers to that. What do you guys think? Leave your thoughts and your comments right below in the comment section, and we'll probably do a review of this session again, and we'll go and do it live so that we can review each of your comments on this. So I went through a little bit of fight or flight and what this fight or flight response means. And as you can see, it refers to a physiological reaction. What happens, your heart rate, blood pressure, and breathing rate increase. Why is it important? This is to prepare us for our body to either fight or flee, and help you be prepared to perform under pressure. So this was a little small thing or a small definition of what fight or flight means. Then we come to our topic of failing forward. I went through with a video called The Power of Mistakes and Failure by Susie Levine. It's a TED Talk, and you can access or you can find her video on YouTube. Just type in The Power of Mistakes and Failure by Susie Levine, and it should pop up on your YouTube search. Right, then I talk about what if I fail versus so what if I fail. So what if I fail is you put this mindset when you are having a goal mindset during challenge. So you start thinking, what if I fail? I feel that's the end of the world. And that's when you start putting a goal. That's the problem when you put a goal mindset during challenges, because you start thinking, what if I fail? And when you start thinking, what if I fail? You're looking at how the situation ahead that is far beyond your reach, versus so what if I fail? That's like a growth mindset. So what if I fail? Doesn't matter, I just pick myself up. I fail, it's a learning process, but it's a step towards it's something that I learned. I consider that maybe a small victory, because yes, even though I failed, but I've learned something, and that's a small victory already. Okay, and there's one saying that the greatest failure, or you only truly fail if you fail to get back up. And so that was what this what if I fail versus so what if I fail means. And we go on to how do we fail forward, and there was 4 key things. You've being optimism, taking initiative, being responsible, and being resilient. Now, I talk about optimism, where one example is Thomas Edison. Now, he redefined his 10,000, or what we said, the 10,000 times he tried, and a lot of us say it's 10 times he failed. But what he did was he did not look at that way. He just says there was just 10,000 ways that don't work, right? And he expected it and counted it as one of the costs of finding a way that would work. And as you see, by finding the benefit in the failure, he was able to keep attempting something great. So I was just saying, so what if I fail? It doesn't matter. If you find something in that failure, it will keep us driving to attempt to do something great, and it makes us be willing to take more risk versus what if I fail? Or if I fail, as I go back to this, you see. So if I go back to this, what if I fail? And you won't start taking risks, and you be limiting yourself into the comfort zone. And that's not what growth is all about. Growth is about stepping out of your comfort zone. Then I talk about responsibility. Responsibility is often when we fail at something, we blame it on something, we blame it on someone, or we blame it, we put blames on something else. But you see, sometimes when we put the blame outside or to someone else, we're just robbing ourselves from the lesson. And what happens after that? We won't learn from it, and we keep on repeating it, and we keep repeating that mistakes we make. But when we take responsibility, you start saying, okay, I made that mistakes, I know how to approach this much better the next time around. And when you are willing to take responsibility, it also shows that you are someone who's mature and can be trusted. I talked then about the quote by John Maxwell, and he says about the difference between average people and achieving people is their perception of and response to failure. So how we look towards failure and how we respond to it, it's really critical in our growth towards our success in life. Initiative. So sometimes when we make mistakes and then consider trying again, there is some sort of pressure or measure of fear that we will face. But as I said, sometimes we need to act on the belief that and take a step forward again in pursuit of our dream. And we don't have to be afraid. We need to put it into actions, right? Only then do we learn from our mistakes and progress. And then I've shared about how when you worry too much, worry doesn't actually change the situation. For example, I'm stuck in a jam. I worry I'll be late for my meeting. I worry I won't make it back in time. I worry that, why can't this jam disappear? But the truth is, you're already in that situation. Why worry? Because your worry is not going to make the jam disappear. No, it's just going to cost you more of your energy and make your day even much worse. So, in short, that's what this quote is trying to say. Worry does not empty tomorrow of its sorrows, right? If we worry about something tomorrow, oh no, I worry about tomorrow, seeing this person. Why will you worry? Because you're going to see the person anyway, right? And when you worry about something that's happening tomorrow, it empties you today, and it just drains you of your day, So this was by Corey Ten Book, and that led to discussion 2 with the group. Now I did something very interesting, which was to got the group to pair up with someone. I told them to discuss over a chat or a separate video call, and after that they'd come back into the discussion and share their thoughts on it. And so this was the question: based on the point that you've been given, discuss about the ways you agree or disagree with it. Now this question was based on the 4 keys of failing forward. So as I said initially, was optimism, taking responsibility, and initiative. And the last point, of course, was resilience. Sorry, it was based on the 3, because this resilience was based point is based on another question. So it was based on those 3. What do they do they agree or disagree with those points, in their discussion? So point 4 was talking about resilience. Sometimes you just need to move on from failure, right? What is done in the past. You can't change that, but what you can change is you can change how your end is going to be. So it's not too late to change your ending. And so here are the 5 behaviors of people who haven't gotten over past difficulties. And this is some of the pointers that we went through. One of them is comparison, that definitely will kill us from our growth or stunt our growth. Rationalization, isolation, regret, and bitterness. So those were some of the points that went through, and then the discussion, or rather it led up to the discussion, which was in response to the 5 behaviors listed. Why are these important? So for you guys who are tuning into this, leave your comments below again. Type in this question and leave your comments. What do you think about this? It'll be very interesting as we will come back to this and have a review of this session again, so that we all can participate in this. So why worry about things you can't control when you can keep yourself busy controlling the things that depend on you? So which is true. You can't change the jams, the worry about the jam that's around you, but you can change your perspective. You can change your mood towards it. I can say, rather than dwelling in a jam, I can't change the fact that I'm stuck in a jam, but I can change the way of how I respond to it, and I can choose to be, it's okay, I'll just tune into music. And sometimes that's the best thing, and that's what I feel I find really interesting about John C. Maxwell quote here from his topic or book, From Failing Forward. And I wrapped it up about feet washing. Now, how does this relate? It's about having accountability. Failing forward is you have be accountable to someone. Just tell them, look, I'm going to be accountable for this failure that I make. Can you make sure, I'm telling you so that I can be kept accountable. So that was the whole summarize of the topic that I did with the group. So hopefully, as we come back to re-explore this topic again, we'll be able to dive in deeper based on your comments and feedback below. Once again, thank you for tuning in. We'll be doing our live sessions really soon, so hopefully you can tune in for that. Until then, take care.